Jamie D. Grant. This is, I'm here at MagicCon, and we're finally going to do part 3 of the busking series. If everyone scrolls down, you can see the part 1 where I did my first time busking ever in my life at the Vancouver Olympics. It was humbling yet awesome. Part 2, I wrote about, if you look down, what tricks I did, you know, where I got them, that kind of thing. And part 3 finally is the wrap up about kind of how it went and what my thoughts are a month later. I'm sitting with Tom Frank, who I'm sure all of you know is a legendary busker, just awesome, an amazing guy, and he's hopefully going to guide us through some of the mistakes I made. So Tom, I get out there. First of all, how important, do you use rope in your show?
I do not. I'm a Cellini student, and what he taught me to do in terms of creating the perimeter is you bring them up really tight to your table. You get your sort of a mini crowd there, and then once you've got that, then you pull the table back about 10 feet, and the audience stays where they're at, so that sort of creates a...
Because what I found is when I had the rope out, you know, I did it once. You've seen the video where actually, Travis, a good friend of mine, he actually positioned it properly, but when I had the rope, I did find that people kind of immediately came up and, you know, and stood waiting patiently, but you don't do that? They come up straight up for you?
No, but you did see Jimmy work yesterday, and he does that, right?
He's talking about Jimmy Talks a lot, who is a gift to humanity, this guy. He's awesome. I saw him yesterday here in San Diego as a fluke, and he uses a rope. But what's your procedure for when, you know, no rope? How do you know when they come up, and how far do they come up? And
well, like I said, I like to bring them right up to my table. Doing close-up card magic.
Card magic on the table.
Just to sort of gather the crowd.
Okay.
And then I might pull the table back.
Okay. And do they stay, or do they kind of shuffle up with you?
They stay right there.
They stay. Right. And now, when gathering a crowd, I think that's what a lot of people have questions about busking. For me, I was lucky at the Olympics. You know, there's a million people downtown. But would you do card magic, you know, at your table, if there's just like one person? Like, would you do magic for that one person, or are you waiting for a group of 5?
You know, working in LA for the last 4 years, I've started using an amp and a mic and an iPod. So I just put the music on and I start
just going.
Yeah, and there's no real pressure for me to feel like I'm building a crowd. It's like if somebody's going to come up, they're going to come up. If they're not, they're not. In the meantime, I'm practicing.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So it's, I think one of the mistakes that a lot of people do is they put a lot of pressure on themselves for that moment. And if it's not coming together, the pressure increases. And
yes.
You've been there for 15 minutes and you haven't even got a crowd yet. You need to remove all that pressure and say, it's an organic process, it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to happen in a little while.
Now, do you have material, for example, I did a card trick, I did a rope trick, and then I did the cups and balls. So that was kind of my busking set. I was worried that if I was doing magic for like a couple people that I was going to burn through my material, then I was going to get a crowd. Now I'm kind of like halfway through the cups and balls, and I kind of wasted it. Do you have burnable material for those small groups first?
You know, not really. I mean, the card sequence is where that's going to happen, and you can just add a few more card tricks. But typically, you know, I'm not a guy that builds a long show or a big crowd. You know, I'm sort of I don't know, there's a difference between an intersection act and a street corner act. Somebody that's going to try to work completely in the round, or somebody that's going to try to maybe back up against a wall and get a 3/4 round. Okay. Sort of protect your angles that way a little bit as well.
Interesting. So you do have like a series of, so you're doing card magic until there's enough people, and then you're sinking into your actual
going to the actual show when you feel as though there are enough people to warrant it.
Okay, and now, how much, we got a few minutes left?
5 minutes.
One of the things I did wrong, brutally wrong, was I forgot to ask for money. You know, the first,
that would be a big problem.
I do this whole bit, and then I'm like, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show, I'm Jamie D. Grant, and someone walked up and dropped one loonie, that's $1 in. So I learned very quickly the importance of hatting, which is, of course, to ask for money. What are your theories on hatting?
Well, your pitch is probably the most important part of your show.
Right.
I mean, the way that you ask for money is key in terms of, you know, letting people know that you want money.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, guys like Cosmo are exceptional at not only telling them that they want money, but how much money.
Right.
A lot of magicians, you know, it cracks me up when he says, you know, a lot of magicians want just $1 or $2. You know, I want $5.
Right.
You know?
but it gives them it's helpful because then the public knows, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? Because if you don't have that, they don't know how much to put in, or
no, I just think that you know, your pitch is very important, and it should be to the point, and it should be about what it is, and it's, you know, this is
what I do.
Yeah.
And do you have steps in your show where you casually mention
sort
money?
of pre-pitch, yeah. Before your finale, you'll
yeah.
And what do I say for my pre-pitch? I say something like, my name is Tom Frank. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm a street performer. What this means, folks, is that I'm not being paid by anyone to be here, and that the show is brought to you by your own generosity. So if you like the show and you got a sensation afterwards, please make a donation. You know, show them that.
Yeah.
And so that's before the finale, and then, you know, after.
And then the finale. Right. I kind of had the theory of when I'm doing the rope trick and it kind of goes wrong, I said, you know, it's pretty hard to believe I do this for a living. Trying to mentally imply that this is what I'm doing for a living. That was kind of my...
Yeah, no, I think that anytime you can... in fact, you know what some people do? They pitch before the finale.
Right.
They ask for the money. They say, you know, and I've done that too when I'm frustrated. Sometimes I'll say, look, but I just got stiffed from 50 people. You know, I mean, $4 for doing a show for 50 people. Well, that's not going to happen this time. I'm going to pass the hat right now before the big finale. So
you actually physically pass the hat?
Physically get the money. And sometimes there's a bail point, you know, if you've only got 2 people wanting to give you money, it's like, oh, sorry guys, no finale today.
Really?
Really. Yeah.
You guys want to see the tennis balls? Put money in the hat. You want to see the oranges? Money's going in.
Well, I don't think you tip the loan
right.
but
yeah, scratch that. Don't use that line. That's why I'm talking to someone that knows what they're doing, and I obviously don't. Well, I gotta say, from the first time being a corporate performer, I love the streets. You know, I talked about this with Jimmy yesterday. I think that there's something absolutely perfect about magic being, you know, if we go to a foreign country and we don't have money, you're walking out on the street, you can do your thing, come back, you know, you're ready to roll. Yeah. And I think there's something to hear about that. Wonderful.
It's a good skill to have, you know. There's a lot of guys out there that are not working, and if you're a street performer, you work as much as you want. Awesome. Not to say that you're making as much as you want, but you have as many opportunities to go out there and give it a shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Frank. You can check him out whenever.
Jamie Grant.
Whenever you're in. Where are you performing these days?
Universal City Walk.
And that's
Hollywood, California.
Hollywood, California.
I've been there for about 4 years now, and I work there exclusively. It's sort of my office.
What a great office to have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in to Magic Friday.